welcome. I'm so glad you've chosen to take this time for yourself, a moment to pause, to breathe, and to open your heart to something deeply healing. This session is an invitation to explore the power of compassion, to gently heal emotional pain, and to reconnect with the kindness that lies within you right now. Wherever you are, I invite you to find a comfortable place. Perhaps you are sitting in a chair, your feet resting softly on the floor. Maybe you are lying down, your body fully supported by the surface beneath you. Whatever your posture, allow yourself to settle in, to soften into this moment. Let the cares of the day fall away for a little while. This is your time, your space, the points where it touches the surface, supporting you. Feel the steadiness beneath you, the gentle grounding that holds you up. Allow your shoulders to relax, your jaw to soften, your hands to rest naturally. There is no need to do anything but be here now. As you settle, take a moment to become aware of your breath. No need to change it, simply notice it as it moves in and out. Feel the coolness of the air as it enters your nostrils. Sense the warmth as you exhale. Notice the gentle rise and fall of your chest, or perhaps the expanding and contracting of your belly. Your breath is a natural rhythm, steady and reliable, a constant companion that anchors you in this moment. I invite you now to set a heartfelt intention for this practice. An intention is like a gentle guiding light, something simple, sincere, and meaningful that you hold softly in your mind and heart as we journey together. Perhaps your intention is to open your heart to compassion, to be gentle with your own pain, and to discover healing through kindness. Or maybe you seek to release old hurts and allow a sense of peace to grow within. You might want to deepen your understanding of compassion, how it connects us all, and find ways to carry it with you beyond this time. Whatever your intention is, know that it is exactly right for you. There is no need for perfection or grand gestures. Even the smallest desire to be kind to yourself and others is powerful and enough. Gently bring that intention into your awareness now. See it as a soft seed planted deep within your heart, ready to grow and blossom throughout this practice. If your mind wanders, that's okay. Simply return to your breath and your intention with patience and kindness. Now, let's take a few grounding breaths together to open awareness and settle into this time. Breathe in slowly through your nose and gently out through your mouth. Again, inhale calmness and exhale any tension. Feel yourself becoming more present, more rooted in this moment. With each breath, allow your body to relax more deeply. Notice any areas of tightness or discomfort, soften them with your breath. Allow your mind to quiet, like still water reflecting the sky. If thoughts come, notice them without judgment and let them drift away. Return your focus to the natural rhythm of your breathing. Feel the connection between your body and breath, the meeting point of inner and outer experience. Breathe in kindness. Breathe out any resistance. Breathe in openness. Breathe out any heaviness. This simple practice of breathing grounds you in the here and now, opening a space for compassion to arise. Compassion is not something far away or difficult to grasp. It is a natural part of who you are, like a gentle flame within, waiting to be nurtured and allowed to shine. As we move through this session together, I invite you to keep returning to this inner flame, the warmth of compassion shining softly in your heart. There is no rush, number, expectations, just a gentle unfolding a deepening connection to kindness and healing. Let your intention continue to guide you, softening and expanding as we move forward. Know that this time is a gift you give yourself, a sacred opportunity to heal and grow. Before we continue, take one more deep breath in and out. Feel gratitude for this moment, for your willingness to be present, and for the compassion that lives within you. Whenever you are ready, allow your eyes to gently close or soften their gaze. Let's begin this journey together with open hearts and calm minds. You might ask, what exactly is compassion? At its simplest, compassion is the heartfelt wish that others and ourselves be free from suffering. It is more than a feeling. It is an active presence of kindness and care, an openness that embraces all beings with warmth and understanding. In Buddhism, compassion is often paired with wisdom. Wisdom helps us see clearly the causes of suffering, while compassion moves us to respond with loving care. Together, they guide us toward healing and transformation. Compassion is not just about empathy, feeling what others feel, but also about kindness in action. It is a commitment to support and uplift, to ease pain wherever it arises, whether in ourselves or in those around us. Sometimes we think of compassion only as something we offer to others, but in Buddhist practice, self-compassion is equally vital. We are encouraged to turn our kindness inward, to treat ourselves with the same gentleness we would offer a dear friend in distress. Why is compassion so essential for healing emotional pain? Emotional pain can feel isolating, heavy, and overwhelming. It often arises when we feel hurt, rejected, or disconnected. Compassion creates a space of acceptance and safety, an inner refuge where pain can be witnessed without judgment, where healing can begin. Think of compassion as a soft light that gently illuminates the dark corners of our heart. It does not force or rush. It simply holds space for whatever is there, no matter how difficult or painful. This quality of compassionate presence allows us to relate differently to our suffering. Instead of fighting, denying, or pushing it away, we learn to embrace it with kindness and curiosity. This shift can ease the intensity of pain and open pathways to growth and peace. In Buddhist philosophy, compassion arises from the recognition of our shared humanity. We all experience joy and sorrow, loss and longing. When we see that suffering is universal, it softens the barriers of separation and awakens a natural urge to care for one another. This is why compassion is sometimes called the heart of the Buddhist teaching. It connects us to ourselves, to others, and to the deeper wisdom within. Emotional pain is not something to be ashamed of or avoided. It is a sign that something within us longs for attention and care. Compassion meets this longing with a nurturing response, offering comfort and healing. When we practice compassion, we learn to listen deeply to the voice of our own heart and the hearts of others. This listening is an act of love that validates experience and fosters understanding. In your own life, you may have noticed how a kind word, a gentle touch, or a simple act of care can soothe distress and bring relief. Compassion has this power to transform even in the smallest gestures. Buddhist teachings remind us that compassion is both a practice and a way of being. It can be cultivated and expanded through meditation, mindful reflection, and intentional action. As you listen today, Consider how compassion might already be present in your life, perhaps in unexpected moments or subtle ways. Notice how it feels to hold yourself with kindness right now. As you breathe and settle into this practice, compassion invites us to soften toward our struggles rather than harden against them. It asks us to open our hearts even when it feels vulnerable or challenging. This openness can be healing because it breaks the cycle of isolation and self-judgment that often accompanies emotional pain in the next moments. We will begin to explore simple ways to cultivate compassion within yourself. We will practice turning toward pain with gentleness and offering yourself the care you deserve. Remember, compassion is not about fixing or changing. It is about being present with patience and love as you navigate whatever arises. By embracing compassion, we create fertile ground for healing to take root and blossom. Take a moment now to connect with your intention for this practice. Perhaps it is to invite more kindness into your heart. Perhaps it is to heal an old wound or to simply be more gentle with yourself. Whatever your intention, hold it softly in your awareness. Know that this is a sacred and courageous step. As you continue to breathe gently, feel the possibility of compassion beginning to grow within you like a tiny seed waiting to bloom. You may notice warmth in your chest, a softening around your eyes, or a quiet sense of calm. These are signs that your heart is opening. If you find resistance or doubt arising, that's natural. Compassion often requires patience and practice. Be kind with yourself as you learn. Let compassion be your companion in this journey. It will guide you gently, helping you face emotional pain with courage and grace. Together, we will explore teachings and meditations that nourish this vital quality, helping you release what no longer serves you and restore balance to your heart and mind. You are not alone. Compassion connects us all in the shared experience of healing and hope. So, as you continue to settle into this time, allow compassion to become your anchor and your light. With each breath, invite compassion deeper into your being. With each breath, soften into the possibility of healing. You are worthy of compassion. Your pain deserves kindness. Your heart is ready to heal. Take a deep, gentle breath in and slowly release. Thank you for opening your heart to this practice. May compassion guide you now and always. Allow your hands to rest softly in your lap or by your sides. Close your eyes if that feels safe and comfortable for you, or lower your gaze softly. Take a deep, slow breath in through your nose and exhale gently through your mouth, letting go of any tension you may be carrying. Again, breathe in deeply and exhale fully, feeling your body beginning to relax as you settle. Bring your attention to the center of your chest, your heart space. Imagine this area as a soft, glowing light. It may be warm, bright, or gentle, whatever feels natural to you. With every breath, envision this light growing warmer and more radiant, spreading kindness and warmth throughout your chest. Breathe in deeply through the heart space, inviting openness. Breathe out softly, releasing any tightness or resistance you might be holding there. As you continue breathing, place a gentle hand over your heart if that feels good, offering yourself a comforting touch. Know that this simple gesture is an act of kindness, a way of showing care and compassion to yourself. Begin to cultivate a feeling of gentle kindness toward yourself. Imagine saying to yourself silently, "May I be safe. May I be peaceful. may I be healed. Let these words resonate softly within your heart, like a gentle balm soothing any wounds or pain. If difficult feelings arise, sadness, fear, frustration, allow them to be present without judgment. Rather than pushing these emotions away, welcome them as visitors, offering a warm, kind space for them to rest. Know that you are not your pain or your struggles. You are the open heart that can hold all experiences with kindness. If you notice resistance within a part of you that feels closed or guarded, acknowledge it gently. You might silently say, "I see your fear. I accept your hesitation." Invite this resistance to soften, like a bud slowly opening to the sun. Feel the warmth of compassion melting away any walls around your heart. Allow your breath to become your guide, flowing naturally and smoothly with each inhale. Breathe in warmth, kindness, and healing energy. With each exhale, release tension, self-criticism, and fear. Imagine this healing energy spreading beyond your heart center. Feel it moving through your shoulders, your arms, your hands. Sense it flowing down your spine, through your torso, and into your legs and feet. With every breath, let this warmth expand, filling your entire being. You are safe here. You are cared for as you sit in this heart-opening meditation. Picture a gentle wave of compassion washing over you, cleansing and renewing. This wave may come as a soft glow, a soothing touch, or a comforting presence. However you sense it, let the wave gently carry away any heaviness or pain that you have been carrying. Feel yourself becoming lighter, freer, more open. If your mind begins to wander, gently bring it back to your breath and the warmth in your heart. No need to judge yourself for distractions. Simply return with kindness, as if guiding a dear friend home now. Expand your kindness to include your whole being, all the parts of you that are struggling or in pain. Silently offer these parts your love and care. Say, may you find peace, may you find healing. Notice how even a small act of self-kindness can soften your heart and ease emotional pain. Feel the power of compassion as a gentle strength rising within you. This strength does not force or push, it simply holds and supports. Allow this strength to steady your mind and soothe your heart. Know that compassion is available to you at any time, simply by turning your attention inward and opening your heart. As this meditation comes to a close, take a moment to rest in this feeling of warmth and kindness. Let yourself absorb the healing energy you have cultivated here today. Know that with each breath and each moment of self-compassion, you nurture your own capacity to heal and grow. When you are ready, gently bring your awareness back to the room. Feel the surface beneath you supporting your body. Begin to wiggle your fingers and toes, inviting movement back into your limbs. Take one final deep breath in and slowly exhale. When you feel ready, open your eyes softly. Carry this gentle kindness with you as you move through your day, remembering that your heart's compassion is always within reach. Thank you for joining this heart-opening meditation. May your path be filled with healing and peace. Imagine a quiet village nestled between rolling hills and tranquil rivers, where the daily rhythms of life flow with the seasons. In this village lived a humble monk, known to all simply as the compassionate monk. He wore simple robes, walked barefoot along dusty paths, and greeted everyone with a calm smile that carried the warmth of understanding. The compassionate monk was not a man of great wealth or fame, nor did he perform grand miracles. Yet his presence was like a soft light that touched the lives of those around him in profound ways. One afternoon, as the monk walked through the village market, he noticed an old woman sitting alone beside her. Her face was marked by years of hardship, and her hands trembled as she tried to arrange her meager wares. Seeing her struggle, the monk paused and offered her a gentle smile. Without a word, he sat beside her, taking her hands in his. The old woman looked up, surprised at the kindness in his eyes. She spoke softly of her troubles, the loss of her husband, the weight of loneliness, the fear of being forgotten. The compassionate monk listened deeply, holding her pain with quiet compassion. Then, with no grand promises or empty words, he simply said, "You are not alone." That phrase, simple yet profound, became a balm to her weary heart. Over the following days, the monk visited her regularly. He helped her arrange her stall, carried water for her, and shared meals. But more than the acts themselves, it was the attention, the deep presence and kindness that began to heal her spirit. Word spread throughout the village about the monk's gentle care. Soon, others who carried their own burdens found their way to him. He did not judge or offer quick fixes. Instead, he met each person exactly where they were, offering a listening ear, a warm smile, or a helping hand. One young man, burdened by anger and resentment toward his family, found himself softened by the monk's steady calm. An anxious mother, overwhelmed by fear for her children's future, felt her heart lighten in the monk's presence. The compassionate monk did not rush the healing process. He understood that true compassion was patient and steady, like the slow river that carves deep valleys over time. One day, a stranger arrived in the village, a weary traveler whose feet were blistered from a long journey. He carried a heavy sack filled with worries and regrets. The villagers whispered about him, fearful and suspicious. But the monk approached the traveler with open arms. He shared his simple meal and offered a place to rest. In the days that followed, the traveler's heart began to soften. He found himself smiling again, feeling the warmth of kindness for the first time in many years. Through the compassionate monk's small acts, a touch, a word, a shared silence, the traveler experienced a healing that no medicine could offer. This story, though simple, carries a powerful truth. Compassion is not just an abstract ideal. It is a living, breathing force that moves through our actions and presence. Each small act of kindness, a smile to a stranger, a gentle word to a friend, a moment of patience with ourselves, creates ripples that extend far beyond what we can see. Now, reflect. For a moment on your own life, consider a time when you experienced compassion, perhaps from someone else or from yourself. How did that kindness touch you? Did it soften a difficult moment, ease a burden, or bring a glimmer of hope? Notice how compassion, even in its smallest expression, carries a power to heal. And remember, compassion begins with simple presence, the willingness to truly see and hold another's suffering without judgment. As the compassionate monk taught through his quiet actions, healing unfolds when we offer kindness, not only as a gesture, but as a way of being. The ripple effect of compassion reaches beyond the moment, planting seeds of peace that can grow into transformation. Let this story inspire you to cultivate compassion in your own life. No act is too small. Every smile, every kind word, every moment of understanding contributes to healing for yourself and for the world. As we move forward, carry with you the warmth of the compassionate monk's presence. Know that your heart, too, has the capacity to heal and to heal others. Take a deep breath in, feeling the invitation to open your heart wide. And as you breathe out, send out ripples of compassion, gentle waves that touch all beings with kindness and care. Many of us live in a world that prizes achievement, strength, and perfection. From early on, we are conditioned to push ourselves hard, to meet expectations, and to hide vulnerability. When emotional pain arises, whether from loss, failure, disappointment, or deep-seated wounds, our first reaction can often be harsh self-judgment. We may blame ourselves for not being strong enough, good enough, or resilient enough. This inner voice, critical and unforgiving, can become a source of further suffering, layering pain upon pain. Buddhist teachings offer a radically different approach. They invite us to soften toward ourselves with the same kindness and care we would offer a dear friend in distress. This is the essence of self-compassion, recognizing our shared humanity, embracing our imperfections, and responding to ourselves with gentleness rather than criticism. Let's begin by understanding what emotional pain is and how it manifests in our inner experience. Emotional pain is an unavoidable part of the human condition. It can arise from external events like loss, rejection, or conflict, but it also surfaces internally through feelings of shame, guilt, self-doubt, or loneliness. Unlike physical pain, emotional pain is often invisible to others, yet it can be equally, if not more, debilitating. It touches the core of our being, coloring our thoughts and shaping our behaviors. When emotional pain appears, it can trigger a cascade of negative self-talk. Thoughts like "I'm weak," "I'm unworthy," or "I don't deserve happiness" take hold. These thoughts feed into a vicious cycle where pain breeds judgment and judgment deepens pain. In Buddhist psychology, this is often described as mental suffering, the suffering we add to the raw experience through our reactions. How can we break free from this cycle? How do we cultivate resilience instead of self-condemnation? The answer lies in cultivating self-compassion. Self-compassion, at its core, involves three key components: self-kindness, being warm and understanding toward ourselves when we suffer or fail, rather than harshly criticizing or judging ourselves. Common humanity, recognizing that suffering and imperfection are part of the shared human experience, rather than feeling isolated or alone in our pain. Mindfulness, holding painful thoughts and feelings in balanced awareness rather than over-identifying with them or suppressing them. Let's explore each of these in detail. Self-kinesiology. A close friend confides in you about a mistake they made or a difficult emotion they are facing. Most likely, you respond with care and encouragement, reminding them that everyone makes mistakes and that they are not defined by their challenges. Now, ask yourself, do you offer yourself the same kindness? All too often, the answer is no. We can be our own harshest critics, setting impossibly high standards and punishing ourselves when we don't meet them. This internal harshness may have once served a protective function, motivating us to improve or avoid danger. But in the face of emotional pain, Self-criticism only magnifies suffering. Research in psychology has shown that people who practice self-kindness during difficult times experience less anxiety, depression, and stress. Self-kindness soothes the nervous system, allowing us to face pain with gentleness rather than overwhelm. In Buddhist teachings, self-kindness aligns with the practice of metta, loving kindness turned inward. It is an act of recognizing our own suffering and responding with a heart that wishes us well. Common humanity. The second component, common humanity, is a powerful antidote to feelings of isolation. When we suffer, it is easy to believe that we are alone in our experience, that our pain is unique and separates us from others. This sense of isolation often compounds emotional pain. Buddhism teaches that suffering is universal. Every person, at some point, experiences pain, loss, and disappointment. To recognize this shared experience is to remember that we are part of a larger whole. This realization can be deeply comforting. It reminds us that we are not broken or singled out for suffering. Rather, we are connected through the common thread of human experience. Embracing common humanity helps soften self-judgment because it shifts our perspective from what is wrong with me to what is happening to me is part of being human. This perspective invites empathy and compassion toward ourselves, just as we would extend empathy to a fellow human being in pain. Mindfulness, the third element. Mindfulness is the practice of holding our experience in gentle, non-reactive awareness, instead of pushing away or obsessing over painful emotions. Mindfulness invites us to observe them with curiosity and openness. This balanced attention prevents us from being overwhelmed by the intensity of emotional pain, or from avoiding it through distraction or denial. Mindfulness creates a space, a pause between our experience and our habitual reactions. In this space, we can choose how to respond, with kindness, acceptance, or constructive action. In Buddhist practice, mindfulness is the foundation upon which self-compassion is built. When we become mindful of our suffering, we see it clearly and respond with tenderness. Why is self-compassion so difficult? Despite the clear benefits, many people find self-compassion challenging. One common obstacle is the fear that self-compassion will lead to complacency or weakness. We worry that being kind to ourselves might make us less motivated or excuse bad behavior. However, research and experience show the opposite. Self-compassion fosters resilience. It creates a supportive inner environment that encourages growth rather than punishment. When we treat ourselves kindly, we are more likely to acknowledge mistakes honestly and take positive steps forward. Another challenge is the deep cultural conditioning towards self-criticism. Many of us have internalized messages that we must earn love and approval through achievement, that vulnerability is weakness, or that self-worth depends on perfection. These beliefs create barriers to self-compassion. Recognizing and gently challenging these beliefs is part of the healing journey. Buddhist teachings guide us to see these thought patterns as transient and constructed, not as immutable truths. Practical steps to cultivate self-compassion. How can we begin to turn compassion inward and offer relief to our emotional pain? Here are several practices grounded in Buddhist wisdom and supported by modern psychology. 1. Practice loving-kindness meditation for yourself. Set aside time each day to silently repeat phrases such as, "May I be safe," "May I be happy," "May I be healthy," "May I live with ease." These phrases help cultivate warmth and care toward yourself. When difficult emotions arise, offer them this kindness. 2. Notice self-critical thoughts. Become aware of the moments when your inner voice becomes harsh, rather than suppressing or engaging with the criticism. Observe it with curiosity. Ask yourself, is this voice true? Is it kind? Gently remind yourself that everyone struggles and that you deserve compassion. 3. Embrace your imperfections. Reflect on the Buddhist teaching of anicca, impermanence, recognizing that all things, including ourselves, are in constant change. Our flaws and mistakes do not define us. They are part of the human journey. Practicing acceptance helps soften self-judgment. 4. Connect to your shared humanity when you feel alone in your pain. Remind yourself that suffering is universal. Consider that many others have faced similar struggles and have found healing. This connection reduces isolation and fosters compassion. 5. Practice mindful self-compassion in daily life during moments of stress or difficulty. Pause. Bring mindful attention to your body and emotions. Offer yourself kindness in those moments, perhaps through a gentle touch to your heart or a soothing phrase. How self-compassion heals emotional pain. When we cultivate self-compassion, we create a safe inner space for healing. Emotional pain, which often feels overwhelming and isolating, becomes something we can hold gently instead of turning away or reacting with self-blame. We learn to stay present with our experience. This presence allows the natural healing processes of the mind and body to unfold. Compassion activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the part of our nervous system responsible for rest and restoration. This physiological shift reduces stress hormones, lowers heart rate, and calms the mind. Through this calming effect, the intensity of emotional pain diminishes. Moreover, self-compassion fosters resilience. It strengthens our ability to face challenges without being consumed by them. With kindness toward ourselves, we can bounce back more quickly from setbacks and develop greater emotional flexibility. Self-compassion as a foundation for compassion toward others. Interestingly, the practice of self-compassion not only heals our own pain, but also deepens our capacity to care for others. When we are harsh or judgmental toward ourselves, it is difficult to extend genuine kindness outward. But when we cultivate an open, compassionate heart inwardly, this energy naturally radiates to others. Buddhist teachings often emphasize this interconnection. Healing the self is inseparable from healing the world. As the compassionate monk's story revealed, small acts of kindness ripple outward, touching lives in unexpected ways. When we begin with ourselves, we establish a stable foundation for compassionate action, reflection, and invitation. Now, take a moment to reflect on your relationship with yourself. How do you typically respond to your own emotional pain? Do you offer yourself kindness, or do you tend toward self-criticism? What would it feel like to respond to yourself with the gentleness you would offer a close friend? As you breathe deeply, invite an intention to open your heart to self-compassion. Begin by settling into your breath. Feel the natural rhythm of breathing, the cool air as you inhale and the warm air as you exhale. Allow your breath to be your anchor, bringing your attention fully into this present moment as you continue to breathe softly and steadily. Begin to set an intention for this practice. You might say silently or aloud, "May I open my heart to kindness and compassion. May I offer myself the care and understanding I deserve." This intention will guide your meditation. Now gently bring your attention to the area around your heart, the center of your chest. Imagine a warm, glowing light radiating there. This light is the essence of loving kindness, gentle and healing with each breath. Imagine this light growing warmer and brighter, spreading through your chest, filling your entire body with warmth and calm. Now repeat softly to yourself the following phrases, allowing their meaning to soak into your awareness. May I be safe. Feel the intention behind these words. Safety means freedom from harm, physical and emotional protection, and a sense of security. As you say these words, invite a sense of safety to rest within you, creating a sanctuary of peace. May I be free from suffering. This phrase acknowledges the reality that suffering exists but gently invites its release. Recognize any pain, discomfort, or distress present in your body or mind. Without pushing it away, wish for relief and healing. May I be healthy. Extend kindness toward your physical body, your emotional self, and your mental well-being. Picture vitality and wellness filling you. May I live with ease. This phrase invites a sense of peace and contentment, a release from struggle and tension. Imagine your mind and heart settling into calm acceptance. As you continue repeating these phrases, notice how your body responds. Perhaps a softening in the jaw, a release in the shoulders, or a gentle deepening of the breath. If difficult feelings or thoughts arise, anxiety, doubt, frustration, acknowledge them kindly. You might say silently, "May I be gentle with this," or simply note the feeling without judgment. Then return your attention to the phrases of loving-kindness. Remember, this is a practice, not a performance. It's natural for the mind to wander or resist. Each return to the phrases and the warmth in your heart deepens the practice. Now, with each repetition, allow the feeling of love and kindness to grow stronger. Imagine it as a healing balm touching every part of your being, your body, your emotions, your thoughts. Feel the embrace of kindness cradling your struggles, your fears, your hopes. You might visualize yourself wrapped in a soft, glowing light, a protective and nurturing cocoon. Take a moment to breathe deeply into this sensation, savoring the peace it brings as you continue. Begin to sense the interconnectedness of this loving kindness. While focused on yourself, you are also connecting to the universal energy of compassion that flows through all beings. Now, expand the phrases in your mind to include the acknowledgement that self-compassion is the foundation for extending kindness outward. Feel gratitude toward yourself for taking this time to nurture your well-being. Silently repeat the phrases once more, allowing them to become a natural rhythm. May I be safe. May I be free from suffering. May I be healthy. May I live with ease. As this meditation deepens, notice any resistance or discomfort in offering yourself this kindness. It's common to feel unworthy or skeptical. When these feelings arise, gently meet them with curiosity. Ask yourself, what fears or beliefs are present here? Allow the loving kindness to be a soft response, a balm for the doubts. Remember, Self-compassion does not mean excusing harm or avoiding responsibility. It means holding yourself with care, even amid imperfections and struggles. Now gently widen your awareness to include the breath again. Feel your chest rising and falling, the rhythm steady and sure. Sense how the loving kindness you cultivated within radiates warmth through your entire being. Begin to bring your attention back to your body and the room around you. Wiggle your fingers and toes if you wish. When you feel ready, softly open your eyes, carrying with you the gentle compassion you have cultivated. Reflection: this loving kindness practice is a profound tool for healing emotional pain. When we turn compassion inward, we create a foundation of safety and acceptance that nurtures resilience. It softens self-criticism and invites healing. The phrases you repeated are seeds planted in the fertile soil of your mind. Over time, with regular practice, they grow into a steady presence of kindness that supports you through life's challenges. Practical tips for daily practice: to deepen this practice beyond today's meditation, consider the following. Set aside time each day for a brief loving kindness meditation, even 5 to 10 minutes. When you notice self-critical thoughts during your day, silently offer yourself one of the phrases, such as, "May I be safe." Use gentle physical touch, like placing a hand on your heart, to connect with feelings of warmth and care. Remind yourself that self-compassion is a practice, a skill that develops gradually. Be patient with yourself as you nurture this new habit. Closing, thank you for dedicating this time to open your heart to yourself. May the compassion you cultivate today ripple outward into every part of your life. Remember that you are deserving of kindness, love, and peace. This meditation is always here for you, a refuge to return to whenever you need. Take one last deep breath, and when you are ready, gently return to your day, carrying the light of loving kindness within. To begin, let's reflect on a simple truth. Suffering is universal. Every person, without exception, experiences pain, loss, fear, or hardship at some point. Suffering is part of the human condition. Yet, paradoxically, it is often in our suffering that we feel most alone, separated by invisible walls of shame, misunderstanding, or despair. Buddhism teaches us that compassion, karuna, is the natural response to this shared reality. Compassion is not pity or sympathy from a distance. It is a heartfelt recognition of the other's suffering as real and important, accompanied by a wish to alleviate that suffering. When we extend compassion to others, something remarkable happens. The isolation created by pain begins to dissolve. The recognition that I am not alone and you are not alone creates a bridge, a shared human experience that connects hearts. Compassion creates connection. Imagine for a moment the warmth of genuine compassion, like a soft light glowing in the heart, reaching outward. This light invites the other person to relax their defenses, to feel seen and held. It says, "I see your pain and I care." This is the healing power of compassion. In Buddhist teachings, compassion is closely linked with wisdom. It is not merely an emotional feeling, but an active quality, a deliberate practice that requires mindfulness, patience, and openness. The Buddha taught that compassion arises naturally when we truly understand the causes of suffering, the deep interconnection of all beings, and the impermanent, ever-changing nature of life. This brings us to an important insight. By practicing compassion for others, we also cultivate our own healing and growth. When we soften toward the suffering of others, we develop qualities of kindness, patience, and empathy. This practice gently erodes self-centeredness and cultivates a sense of shared humanity. Research in psychology supports this, showing that compassionate engagement can reduce stress, improve emotional well-being, and increase feelings of social connection. But how do we cultivate compassion for others, especially when their suffering feels overwhelming or when we ourselves are struggling? This is where Buddhist practice offers practical guidance. The first step is mindful awareness, noticing suffering without turning away or becoming overwhelmed when we encounter someone in pain, or even when we become aware of suffering in the world. Our natural impulse might be to avoid it, to distract ourselves, or to feel helpless. Mindfulness invites us instead to open to witness suffering with gentle presence. This witnessing is not passive, but deeply active. It is a willingness to be with the reality of pain without flinching. Next, empathy comes into play, the ability to feel or imagine the suffering of another. Empathy does not mean merging with the other's pain or losing oneself. Rather, it is a compassionate imagination, seeing the person as a fellow traveler on the path of life, vulnerable and deserving of kindness. Empathy bridges the gap between self and other, softening judgments and fears. Then comes the practice of loving kindness, the wish that others be free from suffering and find happiness. In Buddhist practice, loving kindness is cultivated through metta meditation, where we silently repeat phrases such as, "May you be safe, may you be free from suffering, may you find peace and happiness." These phrases focus the mind and heart on the well-being of others, nurturing genuine care. We often begin this practice by directing loving kindness to those close to us, family, friends, loved ones. Gradually, the practice expands to include acquaintances, strangers, and even those with whom we have conflict. The ultimate goal is universal compassion, extending kindness and care to all beings without exception. This universal compassion is profound because it recognizes that suffering knows no boundaries of race, religion, nationality, or status. It dissolves the illusion of separateness and reveals the interconnectedness of all life. A beautiful metaphor from Buddhist texts likens compassion to the ocean. Just as every river flows into the vast sea, our compassion flows toward all beings, embracing their pain as if it were our own. This vastness nurtures humility, patience, and a deep sense of belonging. Now, you may wonder, what if we encounter suffering that feels too heavy, too immense for one heart to bear? How can we maintain compassion without burning out? This is a crucial teaching. The Buddha recognized this and taught the importance of boundaries and self-care within. Compassionate practice. Compassion is sustainable only when balanced with wisdom and care for oneself. This balance prevents what we now call compassion fatigue, the exhaustion that can arise when we overextend emotionally without replenishment. So, as you practice compassion for others, remember to cultivate compassion for yourself. Allow yourself to rest, to receive kindness, and to set limits when needed. This balance creates resilience, enabling you to continue offering care without losing your own well-being. Let's reflect now on some ways to cultivate compassion in daily life. Start small. Begin with simple acts of kindness, a smile, a listening ear, a helping hand. Practice presence. When you engage with others, give them your full attention. Presence itself is a gift. Listen deeply. Often, the greatest healing comes from feeling truly heard and understood. Recognize shared humanity. Remind yourself that everyone struggles. No one is exempt from pain. Let go of judgment. Compassion requires setting aside blame or criticism, opening space for acceptance. Consider this story from Zen tradition that illustrates the power of compassion. A monk once encountered a woman who was suffering deeply. She was trapped in despair and anger, and many had turned away from her. The monk did not try to fix her or offer advice. Instead, he simply sat beside her in silence, holding her pain with gentle presence. Over time, the woman's heart softened, and healing began. This story teaches us that sometimes being with simply holding space with compassion is the most profound healing gift we can offer now. Let's take a moment to gently cultivate compassion for someone you know who is suffering. Bring to mind their face and silently wish them, may you be safe. May you be free from suffering. May you find peace. Allow your heart to open toward them, feeling the warmth of care as you practice compassion toward others. You will notice how your own heart expands, becoming softer and more resilient. This is the transformative power of compassion. It heals not only those we care for, but ourselves as well. In closing this teaching segment, remember, compassion is a journey, a path walked step by step. It grows with patience, practice, and kindness. Every act of compassion, no matter how small, creates ripples that extend far beyond what we can see. May you carry this compassion forward, embracing the shared human experience with an open heart. May you find healing in connection, strength in empathy, and peace in kindness. Begin by settling comfortably. You may choose to sit with your back straight but relaxed, or lie down in a position that supports ease and alertness. Allow your hands to rest gently, your feet or legs grounded, and your eyes softly closed. If that feels comfortable, take a deep, slow breath in, feeling the cool air fill your lungs, and exhale gently, releasing any tension you may be holding. Continue to breathe naturally, noticing the rhythm of your breath, the rise and fall, the gentle in and out. Now, bring your awareness to your heart center, the space in the middle of your chest. Imagine a warm, glowing light here, like a gentle flame or a soft, golden sun, radiating warmth and kindness. With every breath, feel this light grow brighter, expanding softly with the rhythm of your inhalation and exhalation. This light is the essence of loving kindness, metta, a pure, caring energy that begins within you. Let us begin by cultivating loving kindness toward yourself. Repeat silently or aloud, softly and meaningfully, each phrase. May I be safe. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I live with ease. Allow these words to flow through your mind and heart like a gentle breeze, wrapping you in comfort and care. If difficult feelings arise, gently include them in your kindness. You are deserving of your own compassion always. As you repeat these phrases, feel the warmth in your heart grow, spreading outward like sunlight through a window, touching every part of you, your body, your mind, your emotions. Notice any sensations that arise: softness, warmth, relaxation. Let these feelings deepen naturally. If your mind wanders, kindly bring your attention back to the phrases and the warm glow at your heart. Now, Expand this loving kindness outward to someone you deeply care about, a friend, family member, or mentor. Bring this person to mind, seeing their face gently in your inner vision. Imagine the warm light of loving kindness extending from your heart to theirs, surrounding them with warmth and peace. Repeat again, directing these phrases toward them with sincerity and compassion. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. As you speak these wishes silently, notice how your heart opens, softening toward this person. Allow yourself to feel the connection that compassion creates. You might notice warmth, tenderness, or a gentle smile arising in your mind's eye. Recognize that, like you, this person experiences joys and challenges, hopes and fears. This shared humanity binds us all. Now, gently broaden your circle once more. Bring to mind someone you feel neutral about, perhaps a neighbor you see occasionally, a colleague, or a stranger you passed by today. Picture them clearly, holding no strong feelings of love or aversion. Imagine the warm light of loving kindness extending to them, soft, steady, inclusive. Again, repeat the phrases. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. Allow these wishes to reach this neutral person without judgment or expectation. Notice how even extending kindness to someone you barely know nurtures your heart, growing compassion's strength. The heart's capacity expands with practice, a muscle strengthening through use. Now, prepare gently to extend loving kindness even further to those with whom you have difficulty, conflict, or pain. This can be challenging, but also deeply healing. Remember, compassion is not condoning harmful behavior, but recognizing the shared human struggle behind all actions. Bring to mind a person toward whom you feel resentment, anger, or fear. Visualize them softly, with honesty and courage. As you do so, bring the warm light of loving kindness to your heart once again. Allow it to extend to this person, surrounding them with a protective, healing glow. Repeat the phrases with intention and care. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. If resistance arises, a wall of anger or grief, acknowledge it gently. Say internally, I notice this difficulty. You do not need to force compassion. Simply offer your wish for peace. Compassion begins with openness, not perfection. With each breath, imagine the warmth softening your heart and theirs, creating a space for understanding. Now, extend loving kindness to all beings everywhere, known and unknown, near and far. Picture a vast sky, limitless and open. Imagine your loving kindness like rays of sunlight spreading across this sky, touching all beings with warmth and peace. Silently repeat, may all beings be safe. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings live with ease. Feel the boundless quality of this compassion. Know that, as you extend loving kindness, you participate in a healing wave that moves through the world. Your heart becomes a source of light, connecting you to the vast web of life. Now, rest in this expansive feeling for a few moments. Allow the warm glow in your heart to settle softly. Breathe gently, feeling the rhythm of your breath as a gentle tide, steady, calming, present. Know that this loving kindness is always available to you, a wellspring of compassion within. When you are ready, Slowly begin to bring your awareness back to the room. Feel the surface supporting your body. Notice sounds around you. Gently wiggle your fingers and toes. When you open your eyes, carry this warmth with you, this compassionate presence that can meet yourself and others with kindness and care as you move through your day. Remember that extending loving kindness is a practice, a path of the heart. Each moment offers a chance to soften, to connect, to heal. May your heart be open. May your kindness flow freely. May compassion guide your way. Thank you for joining this loving kindness meditation. May you find peace and healing in the power of compassion. Once, in a quiet village nestled between rolling hills and dense forests, there lived a woman named May. May's life had been marked by hardship from early on. She had known loss, loneliness, and betrayal, events that left invisible scars. On her spirit, as a child, May's family had been torn apart by conflict. Her father, once a joyful man, had become harsh and distant, weighed down by his own sorrows. Her mother, struggling to hold the family together, was often too exhausted to provide the warmth May needed. Alone, May learned to protect herself by building walls that kept others out but also shut out her own feelings. Years passed, and May grew into adulthood, carrying the weight of her past. Though she had found work in the village, she remained withdrawn, reluctant to trust or connect deeply with others. She felt invisible, burdened by a quiet sadness that no one seemed to notice. One harsh winter, a stranger arrived in the village, an elderly monk named Quan. Quan was known far and wide, not just for his wisdom, but for a particular gift, the ability to bring peace and healing through compassion. He traveled from village to village, sitting quietly among people, listening and offering a gentle presence. The villagers welcomed him, sensing the calm he carried. May, curious despite herself, found herself drawn to Quan's humble dwelling at the edge of the village. One cold morning, wrapped in her worn cloak, she approached him. "Why do you come here, stranger?" she asked, her voice cautious but soft. Quan smiled, eyes full of warmth. "I come to sit with those who suffer," he replied simply. May hesitated, but then sat down beside him. The air was cold, but Quan's presence was like a warm fire, steady and comforting. Days passed, and May continued to visit the monk. At first, she spoke little, but over time, she shared fragments of her story, the pain of her childhood, the loneliness that shadowed her life, the fear of opening her heart. Quan listened without interruption or judgment. He offered no quick fixes or empty promises. Instead, he shared stories of compassion, tales of ordinary people who healed through kindness, forgiveness, and self-acceptance. One story he told was of a woman, much like May, wounded and weary, who found healing not by erasing her pain, but by embracing it with a compassionate heart. Quan taught May that compassion begins not with grand gestures, but with the willingness to be present with one's own suffering. To heal, he said, we must first see ourselves with gentle eyes, like a mother cradling a child. May found this difficult. She had spent years believing she was unworthy of love or kindness. But Quan's steady presence invited her to try to turn inward and meet her pain, not with anger or shame, but with tenderness. One evening, as the village lay wrapped in snow, May closed her eyes and practiced a meditation Quan had taught her. She imagined her heart as a small seed buried beneath cold earth. She breathed warmth into it, nurturing the seed with kindness and patience. Slowly, she felt a stirring, a soft pulse of hope. It was as if the cold walls around her heart began to melt, making room for light. As weeks turned to months, May's transformation deepened. She began to smile more, to speak with neighbors, to engage in village life. Her steps grew lighter, and her eyes held a spark of joy that had long been absent. But most remarkable was how May began to extend compassion outward. Inspired by Kwan's teachings, she helped care for the sick, comforted children, and shared her story to encourage others struggling in silence. The ripple effect of her healing spread through the village, like spring sunshine thawing frozen ground. One day, a young girl who reminded May of her younger self approached her timidly. "How do you find peace when the past hurts so much?" the girl asked. May smiled gently and replied, "By learning to hold our pain with kindness, like a friend. Compassion heals us when we open our hearts, even just a little." This story of May and Kwan is not just a tale from a distant village. It reflects a universal truth. Compassion is a powerful balm for emotional wounds, whether our pain comes from loss, betrayal, fear, or loneliness. The act of kindness to ourselves and to others creates space for healing and transformation. As you listen now, bring to mind any pain or struggle you carry. Perhaps it is fresh, or perhaps it is old and buried deep. Imagine, for a moment, offering compassion to that pain. Picture it held gently, like a fragile bird cradled in soft hands. Feel the warmth of kindness flowing toward your suffering, dissolving hardness, softening edges. Allow compassion to be the bridge from isolation to connection, from pain to peace. Compassion is not a magic cure that erases pain instantly. Rather, it is a journey, a steady practice of presence, patience, and acceptance. Each small act of kindness, each moment of self-care, becomes a seed planted in fertile soil. Over time, these seeds blossom into resilience, hope, and renewed joy. Reflect on this as you breathe deeply. Know that you are not alone in your suffering. The healing power of compassion connects us all, weaving a tapestry of shared humanity. May you carry this truth with you, now and always. Let this story be a reminder. No wound is too deep for compassion's healing light. In your heart lies a wellspring of kindness, waiting to flow forth, to soothe, to nurture, to transform. As you prepare to continue your journey through this practice, take a moment to breathe in compassion's warmth and breathe out any heaviness or doubt. Feel gratitude for this moment of healing. Allow your heart to open just a little wider. Know that you are worthy of compassion from yourself and from others. Thank you for sharing this time, this space, and this story. May compassion guide your path and bring peace to your heart. In everyday life, we frequently encounter suffering in ourselves and others. When we witness another's pain, our response can take various forms. We might feel sympathy, a feeling of sorrow or concern for someone's misfortune. We might feel pity, a sense of looking down on someone as less fortunate, often with a subtle distancing. Or we may cultivate compassion, a deep, active presence with another's suffering, combined with the heartfelt wish to alleviate it. They differ in their energy, intention, and ultimately, their impact. Let's start by exploring sympathy. Sympathy comes from a place of acknowledging another's pain and feeling sorry for them. It often involves imagining ourselves in their situation and responding with kindness or concern. For example, when a friend shares a struggle, saying, "I'm sorry you're going through this," expresses sympathy. Sympathy is common and well-intentioned. It can foster social bonds and encourage us to support one another. But sympathy often remains on the surface. It may hold an emotional distance, a kind of standing outside the other's experience. We feel for someone but may not fully enter into their world. Next, consider pity. Pity carries an additional layer. It often involves looking down on the sufferer, seeing them as weaker, less capable, or somehow less than. It can create a subtle hierarchy where the one who pities holds power and the one pitied feels diminished. Pity may come with feelings of discomfort, awkwardness, or even frustration. It can lead to avoidance as we try to distance ourselves from uncomfortable emotions. For example, if we say, "Oh, that poor person," but then turn away or ignore their needs, that is pity. While pity might seem compassionate on the surface, it often hinders genuine connection and healing because it separates rather than unites. Now, let us turn to compassion, the response that Buddhism teaches as the heart of healing. Compassion arises from a place of profound presence. It is not simply feeling sorry for another, it is an active engagement, a willingness to walk alongside someone through their pain. Unlike sympathy, compassion does not maintain distance. It dissolves the boundary between self and other. When we are compassionate, we recognize the shared humanity in suffering and respond with kindness, patience, and understanding. Unlike pity, compassion empowers rather than diminishes. It respects the dignity and strength of the person suffering, offering support without condescension. Compassion can be described as loving kindness in action. It involves the wish not only for others to be free from suffering, but also the intention to help relieve that suffering when possible. The Buddha said compassion is one of the 4 sublime states, alongside loving kindness, sympathetic joy, and equanimity, essential qualities for awakening and healing. Let's pause for a moment to reflect. Think about a time when you felt sympathy for someone. How did it feel? Did it create closeness or distance? Now, recall a moment when you experienced pity, either giving or receiving it. What emotions arose? Did it feel empowering or disempowering? Finally, remember a time when you felt or received true compassion. What was the difference? How did it impact the connection and the healing process? Understanding these differences matters deeply because how we respond to suffering affects both ourselves and others. When we respond with sympathy alone, we may offer comfort but keep a safe emotional distance. This distance can protect us from discomfort but may leave the other feeling unseen or isolated. When we respond with pity, we risk creating shame or helplessness in the sufferer, reinforcing their pain rather than easing it. But when we cultivate compassion, we open a space of shared vulnerability and strength. Compassion heals because it embraces suffering without fear, without judgment, and with the intention to care in Buddhist practice. Cultivating compassion begins with self-compassion. We often find it easier to feel sympathy or pity for others while being harsh or critical toward ourselves. But true healing requires turning compassion inward, offering ourselves kindness and understanding. This self-compassion builds the inner reservoir of love and resilience needed to extend genuine compassion outward. Let's explore the qualities of compassion more deeply. Presence. Compassion requires us to be fully present, not distracted by our own thoughts or judgments. It means offering our full attention to the person or situation in front of us. Non-judgment. Compassion allows space for imperfection, recognizing suffering as a universal human experience. It replaces blame and criticism with acceptance. Empathy. Compassion involves a felt sense of connection, imagining the pain of another as if it were our own, without losing ourselves in it. Altruism. Compassion moves beyond feeling to action. It inspires us to alleviate suffering through kindness, support, or practical help. Contrast this with pity, which often carries implicit judgment and distance. For example, imagine a person struggling with addiction. Sympathy might say, "I feel sorry for them." Pity might say, "They're weak or bad." Compassion says, "I see their pain and want to support their healing." Compassion is both powerful and practical. Studies in psychology show that cultivating compassion, both self-compassion and compassion for others, improves emotional well-being, reduces stress, and increases feelings of connection and meaning. Neuroscience reveals that compassion activates brain areas associated with reward and caregiving, reinforcing our natural desire to help and heal. Now, let's take a moment to practice distinguishing these responses within ourselves. Close your eyes, take a slow breath, and bring to mind someone you know who is suffering or struggling. Notice your immediate emotional response. Are you feeling sympathy, a soft sadness, or concern? Or do you sense pity, perhaps a distancing or judgment? See if you can shift your heart toward compassion, a warm, open presence, wishing for their relief and happiness. Allow this compassionate energy to expand in your chest, flowing outward like light. Breathe deeply into this feeling, letting it nourish your being. Remember, compassion is a practice. It deepens and strengthens over time. When we encounter suffering, whether in others or ourselves, cultivating compassion helps us face pain with courage and kindness. It softens harshness, replaces isolation with connection, and transforms wounds into sources of growth. Reflect now on how you can bring more compassion into your life today. Perhaps it begins with how you speak to yourself, replacing harsh criticism with gentle encouragement. Or maybe it shows up in small acts, listening deeply to a friend, offering a smile to a stranger, volunteering time or resources. Each act of compassion, no matter how small, creates ripples of healing beyond what we can see. As we close this teaching segment, carry with you this insight. Compassion heals because it meets suffering without turning away. Sympathy comforts, but may leave distance. Pity divides and diminishes. May your heart choose the path of compassion, active, present, and healing. Thank you for sharing this space of learning and reflection. May compassion light your way forward. This is your time, a time to pause, to gently observe, and to cultivate compassion for yourself and all beings. Take a slow, deep breath in through your nose. Hold it softly for a moment, and exhale gently through your mouth or nose. Feel the breath as it flows in and out, bringing you into presence. Allow your breath to settle into its own natural rhythm, steady, calm, and easy. Notice the rise and fall of your chest or belly as you breathe. Each inhale bringing fresh energy, each exhale releasing tension. Begin to soften any areas of tightness or discomfort with your breath, inviting ease wherever you sense resistance. Now, bring your awareness to the theme of compassion. Compassion is a gentle presence with pain. It is not about fixing or changing, but about being fully present with whatever is here. As you settle deeper, gently bring to mind the experience of pain, emotional, mental, or physical, that you may carry within you now. This pain may feel sharp or dull, close or distant, large or small. Whatever you sense, allow it to be exactly as it is. There is no need to resist or judge this pain. It is part of your human experience. Simply notice the pain with kindness. Observe where it resides in your body. Perhaps it shows as a heaviness in the chest, a tightness in the throat, or a fluttering in the stomach. See if you can meet this pain as you would meet a dear friend, with gentle acceptance and warmth. If you find your mind wanting to avoid or push away this discomfort, gently invite it back with a soft curiosity. Breathe into this place of pain. Imagine your breath as a soothing balm flowing in and around this area, softening edges, creating space. Repeat silently to yourself, "May I be kind to this pain. May I hold it gently. May I offer myself compassion." Let these phrases become an anchor, a nurturing presence in the midst of discomfort. As you continue breathing gently, expand your awareness beyond yourself. Now bring to mind someone else, a person you know, or perhaps someone you don't, who is experiencing pain or difficulty. This could be a loved one, a friend, a stranger, or even a group or community. Visualize them in your mind's eye. See them in their moment of suffering, whatever form that takes. Recognize that, just as you experience pain, so to do others. Feel the common thread of human experience, the shared reality of joy and suffering. Allow yourself to connect with their pain without judgment or analysis. Simply hold their suffering in your heart, as you did with your own. Repeat silently, "May you be free from suffering. May you be held with kindness. May you find peace." Notice any resistance, fear, or discomfort that arises within you as you open to another's pain. This is natural. Compassion can feel vulnerable. Allow yourself to rest with these feelings without pushing them away. Return to the breath if your mind wanders. Breathe in calm presence. Breathe out tension or distraction. As your awareness grows, invite a sense of warmth and care to arise in your heart space. Imagine your heart expanding like a soft, glowing light. This light represents your compassionate presence. See it radiating outward, first surrounding your own pain, then enveloping the pain of others. This light holds and comforts, warming and healing without needing to change the pain. Feel the gentle strength of compassion as a balm for wounds. Notice how this energy opens the heart, softens resistance, and fosters connection. Now gently reflect on the qualities of compassionate awareness. It is a practice of presence, fully being here in the moment with whatever arises. Non-judgment, allowing experience without labeling good or bad. Kindness, offering warmth and gentleness to self and others. Patience, allowing healing in its own time, without rushing or forcing. As you breathe, invite these qualities to grow within you. If your mind drifts, simply notice and come back to the breath and the intention to cultivate compassion. If you feel ready, bring your attention back inward. Return to the sensations in your own body. Notice how your relationship with your pain may have shifted, perhaps. It feels lighter or more bearable, maybe. There is simply a new sense of space around it. Acknowledge this moment of healing. Repeat again softly. May I be kind to myself. May I offer compassion to my pain. As you continue to breathe calmly, imagine that your compassionate awareness is a steady presence, like a quiet lake reflecting the sky. When waves of emotion or thought arise, whether fear, sadness, or discomfort, your compassion is the still water beneath it holds and accepts all that comes and goes. Return now to your breath. With every inhale, breathe in peace and kindness. With every exhale, release tension and resistance. Allow your breath to carry you deeper into this gentle space. Take a moment to silently affirm your intention to cultivate compassion for yourself and for all beings. Know that this is a lifelong practice, a path of opening and healing. You carry this compassionate presence with you always, available whenever you pause to notice. When you feel ready, gently begin to bring your awareness back to the room. Notice the sensations of your body on your seat or floor. Feel the surface supporting you. Take a deep, cleansing breath. Begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. When you are ready, open your eyes or lift your gaze. Carry the warmth of compassionate awareness into your day or evening. Remember, compassion is not about fixing or erasing pain. It is about meeting it with kindness and presence. Through this practice, healing unfolds naturally and gently. Thank you for sharing this meditation. May you and all beings be safe, peaceful, and free from suffering. Settle comfortably once again, allowing your body to soften and your breath to steady. In this time, we will explore the profound connection between compassion and forgiveness, two powerful forces that have the capacity to heal emotional wounds and free us from suffering. Forgiveness is often misunderstood. Sometimes it is confused with forgetting, excusing, or condoning wrongdoing. But true forgiveness, as taught within Buddhist wisdom, is much deeper and more freeing than that at its heart. Forgiveness is a profound expression of compassion, a compassionate act of kindness toward ourselves and others. Forgiveness frees the forgiver as much as, if not more than, it frees the forgiven. In this teaching, we will explore the nature of forgiveness, how it arises from compassion, and the ways it can release us from the burdens of resentment and pain. Begin by reflecting quietly on the word forgiveness. What comes up for you when you hear this word? Does it bring feelings of relief, hesitation, resistance, or hope? Allow yourself to acknowledge whatever feelings or thoughts arise without judgment. Forgiveness is a deeply personal and sometimes challenging path. It invites us to face difficult emotions and experiences with courage and kindness. In Buddhist teachings, compassion is the natural ground from which forgiveness grows. Compassion is the recognition of shared suffering, an awareness that all beings experience pain, loss, and hardship. When we hold another's suffering in our heart, our judgment softens, and we open to understanding. This understanding creates space for forgiveness to arise. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting what happened or pretending pain did not occur. It does not mean denying justice or allowing harm to continue. Forgiveness is about releasing the emotional weight of anger, resentment, and bitterness that we carry. It is about freeing ourselves from the chains of the past so that we can live fully in the present. Consider for a moment the impact of holding onto resentment. Resentment is like a heavy stone in the heart. It weighs us down, drains our energy, and clouds our perspective. By clinging to anger or hurt, we carry a burden that limits our freedom and happiness. Forgiveness lightens this burden. It allows us to set down the stone and walk forward with a lighter heart. Imagine forgiveness as a gentle river flowing through the landscape of your heart. The river moves around obstacles and gently erodes the hardened edges of pain. It does not force or rush, but allows healing in its own time as you breathe. Invite this river of forgiveness to flow through you. Now, feel its soft, steady current washing over wounds, softening tension, and creating space for peace. Forgiveness also requires us to extend compassion inward, toward ourselves. Often, we are our own harshest critics. We hold grudges against ourselves for mistakes, perceived failures, or shortcomings. Self-forgiveness is an essential part of healing. It is an act of self-compassion that acknowledges our humanity and allows growth. Reflect now on an area in your life where you may need to offer forgiveness, whether toward another or toward yourself. Allow yourself to hold this intention gently without pressure or urgency. Forgiveness is a journey, not a destination. It unfolds naturally when we approach it with openness and kindness. One of the Buddha's most powerful teachings on forgiveness is the metaphor of the two arrows. The first arrow is the initial pain or harm, often unavoidable. In life, the second arrow is our reaction, the suffering caused by anger, resentment, or resistance. Forgiveness helps us avoid shooting the second arrow, reducing unnecessary suffering. By cultivating compassion, we learn to meet pain with understanding rather than retaliation. Consider how holding on to resentment may cause you to shoot the second arrow again and again. Notice how forgiveness can be the act of choosing not to shoot that second arrow. It is a conscious decision to respond with compassion rather than anger. Forgiveness is also a practice of non-attachment. We release our need for revenge, validation, or changing the past. This does not mean giving up justice or boundaries, but rather transforming our relationship to the pain by letting go of what no longer serves us. We open to healing. As you continue to breathe gently, reflect on how forgiveness can be a gift we give ourselves. It frees us from the prisons of bitterness and resentment. It opens the door to peace, joy, and renewed connection. Forgiveness is a path of strength, not weakness. It takes courage to face pain honestly and to choose compassion in its presence. But in doing so, we reclaim our power and step into freedom. Sometimes forgiveness may feel impossible. The wounds may seem too deep, the hurt too great in those moments. Remember that forgiveness is a process. It unfolds in small steps, often slowly and with effort. Each moment of letting go, even a tiny one, is a step toward healing. You might begin by forgiving yourself for being imperfect. Forgiving others may come later or gradually. There is no right or wrong way, only your way. Take a moment now to offer yourself compassion and forgiveness. Repeat silently or aloud, "May I be free from anger. May I be free from suffering. May I forgive myself with kindness." Next, bring to mind someone you wish to forgive. It could be someone who hurt you deeply, or even someone you struggle to understand. Visualize them gently. Notice any emotions or resistance that arise. Know that forgiveness does not require forgetting or excusing it, simply asks you to release the hold of pain in your heart. Repeat silently, may you be free from suffering. May you be happy and at peace. As you breathe in, invite compassion to grow. As you breathe out, release tension or resistance. Allow your heart to open wider with each breath. Remember that forgiveness is an ongoing practice. It may arise spontaneously or with conscious effort. Be patient and gentle with yourself as you walk this path. The Buddha taught that compassion and forgiveness are inseparable. Where there is true compassion, forgiveness naturally arises. Where forgiveness flows, compassion deepens. Together, they weave a healing tapestry in our hearts. Take a few more moments now to rest in this awareness. Feel the warmth and openness that compassion and forgiveness bring. Allow yourself to be held by this gentle presence. When you are ready, begin to bring your awareness back to your breath. Notice the rise and fall of your chest. Feel the support beneath you. Wiggle your fingers and toes softly, and when you feel ready, gently open your eyes or lift your gaze. Carry the gift of compassion and forgiveness with you as you continue your day or evening. Know that these qualities are always within you, waiting to be called upon whenever you need them. Thank you for sharing this time. May you be free, may you be at peace, and may compassion guide your heart always. We share a story about the transformative power of forgiveness, a story that invites us to witness how compassion can heal even the deepest wounds and bring peace where once there was pain. This is the story of a person named Amina and the journey of her forgiving heart. Amina grew up in a small town nestled between rolling hills and flowing rivers. From a young age, she was known for her bright spirit and generous nature. She loved deeply and trusted easily. Her heart opened to the world around her, but life, as it often does, brought challenges she had never imagined. When Amina was in her early 20s, she entered a close relationship with someone she thought she could trust, a person she believed would walk beside her through life's joys and hardships. At first, the relationship was filled with laughter, shared dreams, and tender moments. But over time, cracks began to appear. Small betrayals turned into larger ones, promises broken, words harshly spoken, and eventually, a profound hurt that left Amina feeling betrayed, abandoned, and shattered. The person she had loved so deeply had acted in ways that caused her great pain for many months. Amina carried this pain like a heavy cloak. She replayed the moments of hurt again and again in her mind, her heart clenched with anger, sorrow, and confusion. The relationship that had once been a source of joy became a wellspring of suffering. She found herself caught in a web of resentment each day. The bitterness grew, a shadow darkening her spirit. She questioned herself. How could someone I loved so much hurt me so deeply? And more painfully, could I ever forgive this? In the solitude of her heartache, Amina began to search for answers. She read books, sought advice from friends, and explored teachings on healing. One day, she came across a passage about compassion and forgiveness in a Buddhist text. The words spoke directly to her soul. Forgiveness is not about excusing the harm done, but about freeing the heart from the chains of resentment. Compassion allows us to see beyond the pain, to recognize the shared humanity in ourselves and others. This sparked something within Amina, a small flame of hope. She realized that holding on to anger was like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. The bitterness was not only hurting the one who had wronged her, but was also consuming her own joy and peace. But to reclaim her own freedom and healing, she knew it would not be easy. Forgiveness would require courage, patience, and compassion. The journey began with small steps. Each day, she practiced compassion first toward herself. She acknowledged her hurt and gave herself permission to feel the pain without judgment. She spoke kindly to her heart, offering gentle words of comfort. "It's okay to feel broken right now," she whispered. "You are worthy of healing and peace." This self-compassion softened the edges of her pain, creating space for deeper healing. As the weeks passed, Amina began to reflect on the person who had hurt her. She reminded herself that everyone carries their own struggles and imperfections. She imagined the complex tapestry of their life fears, wounds, and confusion that may have led to their actions. This reflection did not justify the harm, but opened her heart to understanding. She saw not just a person who hurt her, but a fellow human being, flawed and vulnerable. With this awareness, forgiveness began to take root. It was not a sudden event, but a gradual unfolding, a slow thawing of the hardened places in her heart. Each day, she practiced releasing a little more resentment, a little more bitterness. One morning, Amina found herself thinking about the person with a strange lightness. The sharp edges of anger had softened. She felt a quiet compassion rising, a gentle wish for their happiness and healing. This shift transformed Amina's world. The heavy burden of pain lifted, replaced by a sense of peace and freedom. Her heart opened wider, not to forget the past, but to move beyond it with grace. Forgiveness also changed her relationship with herself. She learned that forgiving others is inseparable from forgiving ourselves. She released harsh judgments and embraced her own imperfections with kindness. Amina's story reminds us that forgiveness is a powerful healer. It transforms pain into compassion, suffering into freedom. It does not erase the past, but opens a new path forward. As you listen now, you might bring to mind a situation or relationship where forgiveness feels difficult or impossible. Know that you are not alone. Forgiveness is a journey available to all who seek healing. Imagine, like Amina, beginning with a single step, a moment of kindness toward yourself, an opening of the heart, gradually softening the hardest places. Feel the warmth of compassion radiating from your heart. Let it dissolve the shadows of resentment. Invite peace to enter your mind and body. Take a deep breath in as you exhale. Release any tension or heaviness you may be carrying. Breathe in healing, breathe out pain. Know that forgiveness is not about weakness or forgetting. It is an act of profound strength and wisdom. It frees the soul to live fully and love deeply. Rest now in the knowing that compassion and forgiveness are seeds planted within you with patience and care. They grow blooming into radiant, healing light when you are ready. Gently bring your awareness back to this moment. Feel the support beneath you. Notice your breath. Steady, calm, and present. Carry this story, this energy of forgiveness with you as you move forward. May your heart be light, your spirit free, and your path filled with compassion. Thank you for sharing this time and space. This meditation is an invitation to open your heart, to gently release grudges and resentments that weigh heavily on your spirit, and to cultivate the healing power of forgiveness. Begin by bringing your attention to your breath. Notice the natural rhythm of your inhalations and exhalations, the gentle rise and fall of your chest and belly. With each breath, feel yourself settling deeper into this moment, into this safe space. Allow your breathing to become slow, steady, and smooth. As you breathe, begin to invite a sense of calm and openness into your heart space. Feel your chest soften and expand gently with each inhale. Let the breath be a bridge, connecting your mind, body, and spirit, grounding you in the present. Now, gently bring to mind someone. It may be yourself or another person toward whom you feel a need for forgiveness. You may notice hesitation, resistance, or discomfort. That is perfectly okay. Forgiveness is a journey, not a demand or obligation. Approach this practice with kindness and patience toward yourself. Visualize this person or yourself standing before you. Observe any feelings, images, or sensations that arise. Allow whatever comes up to be present, without judgment or analysis. If you notice tension, tightness, or heaviness in your body, breathe into that area with gentle curiosity. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, imagine releasing some of the weight or pain you carry connected to this person or situation. With each breath out, feel the tension loosening, softening. With each breath in, invite a sense of healing, warmth, and openness. Now, silently or softly, begin to repeat the following phrases. Let the words resonate with your heart's natural desire for peace. May I be free from anger. May I be free from resentment. May I be free from pain. May I be filled with peace. If you are directing forgiveness toward another person, gently shift the phrases to include them. May you be free from anger. May you be free from resentment. May you be free from pain. May you be filled with peace. Feel the gentle power of these intentions as they flow through you like a soothing balm. Imagine each phrase as a warm light touching the areas within your heart that feel wounded or closed. Allow this light to soften those places, inviting healing and release. You may notice old stories, memories, or feelings arising. Welcome them as visitors, temporary, passing through your awareness. Do not try to push them away or hold on to them. Simply observe, breathe, and let them be. If difficult emotions arise, sadness, anger, fear, breathe into them deeply. Imagine your breath as a caring friend, offering comfort and space. You do not need to fix or change anything. The act of presence and acceptance is itself a powerful step toward forgiveness. Now, picture a gentle river flowing before you. See how the water moves freely, carrying leaves, twigs, and small stones effortlessly downstream. Imagine your grudges, pain, and resentments as leaves on this river. Visualize placing each one into the flowing water, watching them drift away with ease. Feel the relief and lightness that come with letting go. Repeat again silently or softly. May I release what no longer serves me. May I open to healing and peace. May I embrace compassion and forgiveness. Return to your breath. Feel the steady, soothing rhythm anchoring you to this moment of healing. Allow yourself to rest in the spaciousness created by releasing old burdens. Now, expand your awareness to include your whole body. Feel the calm energy flowing through your limbs, your heart, your mind. Imagine this energy as a gentle glow, nurturing every cell with compassion and grace. If you feel ready, you may now extend forgiveness to yourself. Say silently or aloud, "I forgive myself for my mistakes. I forgive myself for holding on to pain. I forgive myself and release judgment." Recognize that self-forgiveness is a vital part of healing. When we offer compassion inwardly, our hearts become more capable of extending that kindness outward. Feel how forgiving yourself creates space for peace to bloom. As you continue to breathe gently, allow any remaining tension or resistance to soften. Imagine your heart expanding with warmth, a vast open sky, clear and embracing. Know that forgiveness is not a destination, but a continuous practice. Each moment you return to compassion, you nurture healing. If you find your mind wandering, gently bring it back to the breath. Feel the air entering your nostrils, the gentle rise and fall of your chest. Breathe in calm, breathe out, release. Now, imagine sending waves of loving kindness from your heart, first to yourself, then to the person or situation you are forgiving, and finally, to all beings who carry pain and suffering. Silently repeat, "May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings find peace and happiness. May all beings be embraced with compassion." Take a few moments to sit with this feeling of universal compassion. Let it fill every corner of your being. Allow it to soften any last resistance and deepen your connection to peace. As this meditation draws to a close, bring your attention once more to your breath. Notice how you feel in your body and mind. Observe the calm, the openness, and the space created by this practice. When you are ready, gently begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Slowly open your eyes if they were closed. Take a deep, nourishing breath and carry this sense of forgiveness and compassion with you throughout your day. Remember, forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. It is a journey of courage and love, unfolding one breath at a time. Thank you for dedicating this time to your healing. Compassion is not only a profound spiritual principle, but also a practical force that can transform our relationships, our inner experience, and the world around us. Today, we will explore how compassion, when woven into the fabric of ordinary moments, becomes a powerful source of healing, connection, and joy. Understanding compassion as a daily practice. Compassion, in the Buddhist tradition, is often defined as the heartfelt wish for all beings to be free from suffering. It is empathy that moves beyond feeling into action, a kindness that opens the heart without losing clarity or wisdom. But compassion is not reserved for grand gestures or special occasions. It is alive in the small, everyday actions that reveal our care for ourselves and others. Compassion in daily life means noticing the suffering, whether our own or another's, and responding with kindness and understanding rather than judgment or indifference. Reflect on your daily compassion by considering the small moments where compassion already exists in your life. It may be the smile you offer a stranger, the patient breath you take when a loved one is frustrated, the gentle voice you use to soothe yourself during a difficult moment. These seemingly simple acts, repeated over time, are the seeds from which a compassionate life blossoms. The ripple effect of small kindnesses. Think of compassion like ripples on a pond. A single kind word or gesture spreads outward, touching lives in ways we may never fully see. When we act with compassion in our daily interactions, we contribute to a more caring, connected world. Every moment offers the chance to create positive change through empathy and understanding. Compassion begins with before we can truly offer compassion to others. It is essential to cultivate it within ourselves. Self-compassion means treating ourselves with the same kindness and patience we would extend to a dear friend. It means recognizing our shared humanity, acknowledging our struggles without harshness, and allowing space for growth and healing. Practical ways to practice self-compassion daily. Pause to consider how you speak to yourself throughout the day. Are your words encouraging and gentle, or critical and harsh? Begin to notice when self-judgment arises and consciously choose to soften your inner dialogue. Small practices like pausing to take a few mindful breaths when feeling overwhelmed, or offering yourself a quiet moment of kindness, nurture your inner compassion. Conscious communication as compassion communication is a profound opportunity to practice compassion. Our words can either build bridges or create walls. Conscious communication means speaking with awareness of our intentions and the impact of our words. It involves listening deeply and responding with empathy, even when conversations are challenging. Listening with compassion. Active listening is a cornerstone of compassionate communication. When someone shares their feelings or struggles, our first impulse might be to offer advice or fix the problem, but sometimes the greatest gift is simply to listen fully, without interruption or judgment. Imagine creating a space where the other person feels truly heard and seen. This openness can be healing beyond words, responding with kindness and clarity. Listening. Choose responses that come from a place of care and honesty. Compassionate communication balances kindness with clarity, setting boundaries gently when needed. It acknowledges others' feelings while expressing your own truth respectfully. This approach fosters mutual understanding and nurtures healthy relationships. Compassion in daily activities beyond relationships. Compassion can be present in the rhythm of daily tasks, from preparing food to commuting, from working to caring for your home. Each activity is a chance to cultivate mindfulness and kindness. Bring your full attention to these moments, infusing them with care. For example, when washing dishes, notice the warmth of the water and the sensation of touch. In these acts of presence, compassion for life, including your own, grows naturally. Dealing with difficult people with compassionate can be challenging to extend compassion to those who frustrate or hurt us. Yet, Buddhist teachings invite us to remember that everyone carries suffering and acts from causes and conditions. By seeing difficult behavior as a reflection of another's pain rather than a personal attack, we can soften our hearts. This does not mean tolerating harm or avoiding boundaries, but approaching conflict with wisdom and kindness. Reflective practice. Compassionate boundaries. Compassion includes protecting your own well-being. Consider where in your life you need to establish or reinforce boundaries. How can you do so with firmness and gentleness? Practice saying no with kindness, recognizing that self-care is an essential part of compassion. The role of compassion in mental healing daily. Compassion nurtures emotional resilience. By responding kindly to ourselves and others, we reduce stress, anxiety, and isolation. This healing power of compassion opens the door to peace and connection, breaking the cycle of judgment and resentment. Incorporating compassion rituals. Creating small rituals can support compassionate living. This might include morning intentions, brief meditations, or moments of gratitude. For example, before meals, silently wish that the food nourishes all beings at the end of the day. Reflect on compassionate moments and set gentle goals for tomorrow. These practices keep compassion alive. In daily consciousness, mindful pauses, compassion in action. In the midst of busy days, take mindful pauses to check in with yourself. Ask, how am I feeling? Do I need kindness or rest? These moments of self-awareness and care are acts of compassion. They prevent burnout and keep your heart open. Compassion and forgiveness in daily life. Forgiveness is a vital expression of compassion. Practice releasing grudges and resentments, starting with small irritations. This frees emotional energy and cultivates freedom. Forgiving ourselves and others lightens our hearts and deepens our capacity to love. Compassion for the planet and all beings. Extend your compassionate awareness beyond human relationships. Consider the well-being of animals, plants, and the earth itself. Simple acts, reducing waste, mindful consumption, protecting nature are expressions of compassionate stewardship. This interconnectedness is at the heart of Buddhist ethics. Compassionate action. Small steps matter. Even small acts of kindness create significant positive impact. Holding a door, offering a smile, sharing a kind word. These are expressions of compassion that enrich daily life. Approach your day with intention to act compassionately wherever possible. Challenges to practicing compassion. Recognize that cultivating compassion is not always easy. We may encounter frustration, fatigue, or doubt. These obstacles are part of the journey. Be patient with yourself. Remember that every compassionate intention counts. The heart of compassion, presence. Ultimately, compassion arises from presence, the simple act of being fully here with open-hearted awareness. This presence is healing in itself. It allows suffering to be seen, held, and transforms practice, returning to presence as often as you can. As you move through your day, invite compassion into every interaction and moment. Let it soften harshness, heal wounds, and foster connection. Remember, compassion is a practice, cultivated with each breath, each choice. Your commitment to compassion creates a ripple effect of kindness that touches lives beyond your own. Thank you for sharing this time to explore compassion in daily life. May this teaching inspire and support your journey toward greater kindness, healing, and peace. Take a slow, deep breath in through your nose, filling your lungs completely. Hold for just a moment, and then exhale fully through your mouth, releasing any heaviness or stress. Let your breath find its natural, soothing rhythm, steady, calm, and effortless. With each breath, feel yourself becoming more grounded and present here in this moment. Now, gently bring your awareness to your heart center, the place where compassion naturally arises. Imagine this area as a warm, glowing light, soft, radiant, and inviting. With each inhale, feel this compassionate light expand, filling your chest and flowing outward through your whole body. As you breathe out, sense this warmth extending beyond you, touching your mind, your heart, and even your hands. This light is your capacity to be compassionate, not only toward others, but also toward yourself. Allow this compassionate presence to settle comfortably within you, like a gentle, steady flame that does not flicker or fade. Now, invite yourself to visualize a simple, everyday interaction, a moment where you have the opportunity to embody compassion. Picture yourself encountering someone, perhaps a family member, a friend, a coworker, or even a stranger. See this person clearly in your mind's eye, noticing their expression, posture, and presence. As you imagine this meeting, sense any feelings that arise within you: curiosity, openness, maybe even hesitation. Allow these feelings to be just as they are, without judgment. Now, imagine that as you approach this person, your compassionate light gently flows outward, surrounding them like a warm embrace. Feel yourself fully present, attentive, and open. Your eyes meet theirs with kindness. Your voice carries calm and gentle tones. Your body language invites trust and ease. In this moment, your compassionate presence becomes a healing balm, softening tension, easing worries, and fostering connection. Notice how this compassionate presence affects not only the other person, but also you. Feel the spaciousness that arises when you let go of judgments, expectations, and reactivity. Sense how your heart opens wider, allowing understanding and empathy to flow freely. This presence is a powerful reminder that compassion is an active force, a way of being that can transform relationships and heal emotional wounds. Now, gently shift your visualization to a moment where the person you are imagining shares a difficulty or pain with you. Perhaps they speak of sadness, fear, or frustration. See yourself listening deeply, with full attention and without interruption. Feel your compassionate presence as an attentive, caring space where their feelings are fully acknowledged and held. You don't need to fix or solve. Simply being present with kindness is a healing act. As you continue to hold this space, imagine sending silent wishes to this person. May you be safe. May you be free from suffering. May you find peace. Feel the power of these wishes gently flowing from your heart toward theirs. Allow yourself to receive the healing power of compassion as well, remembering that compassion is reciprocal. It nourishes both giver and receiver. Now, shift your visualization to a time when you might be struggling, carrying your own emotional pain, fear, or doubt. Picture yourself holding these feelings in your hands, seeing them clearly without resistance. Invite your compassionate presence inward, surrounding these parts of yourself with the same warmth and kindness you offered to the other. Silently repeat to yourself, "May I be safe. May I be free from suffering. May I be at peace." Notice how this self-compassion creates space for healing, softening the hardness of pain and allowing gentle acceptance. Take a moment now to scan your body, noticing any areas where tension or discomfort resides. With each breath, invite your compassionate presence to flow there, like a warm light, soothing and relaxing those spots. Feel your body and heart becoming lighter, more open and relaxed. Now, bring your attention to your hands. Imagine your hands glowing with compassionate energy, a gentle light radiating from your palms. Visualize placing your hands over your heart or extending them outward, as if offering this healing energy to the world feel the power of your compassionate presence as a force that can transform not only your own pain, but also the suffering of others. Consider now the many small moments in daily life where this compassionate presence can be embodied. The brief smile to a passerby, the patient breath before responding in conflict, the kind word to a struggling colleague, or the gentle acceptance of your own imperfections. Each act, no matter how small, ripples outward, creating healing and connection in ways both seen and unseen. Now, imagine your compassionate presence as a continuous thread woven through all your daily interactions. Feel this thread as a source of strength and resilience, guiding your words, thoughts, and actions, no matter what challenges arise. This presence grounds you in kindness and wisdom. Let yourself feel gratitude for this capacity to be compassionate. Know that compassion is a practice, something cultivated with intention and patience. It grows stronger each time you choose presence over distraction, kindness over judgment, connection over isolation. Begin to bring your awareness back to your breath, the steady rhythm that anchors you to this moment. Feel the rise and fall of your chest and belly. Feel the gentle flow of life moving through you. Allow your compassionate presence to rest softly with your breath steady, calm, and true. Now, gently begin to widen your awareness to the room around you. Notice sounds, smells, and sensations without attachment. Feel the surface supporting you. Notice the light touching your skin when you feel ready. Gently open your eyes, carrying this compassionate presence with you as you move into your day. Remember, compassion is not a destination, but a living practice available to you in every breath and every interaction. Thank you for sharing this meditation on compassionate presence in action. May your days be filled with kindness, healing, and connection. Long ago, in a quiet village nestled between rolling hills and a winding river, there lived a woman named Amina. She was known throughout the village, not for wealth or status, but for the warmth of her heart and the kindness of her actions. Amina, life had not been easy. She had experienced loss, hardship, and loneliness. Yet she carried within her a deep well of compassion, a commitment to see suffering and respond with care. She believed that even in the darkest circumstances, compassionate action could bring light and healing. One season, the village faced a grave challenge. A fierce drought descended upon the land. The river's flow slowed to a trickle. Crops withered under the relentless sun. The animals grew thin, and the people grew worried. Food and water became scarce. Tensions rose, and fear began to settle over the community. Many villagers reacted with frustration and anger. They blamed the gods, each other, and fate itself. Arguments broke out over the dwindling resources, and the village's sense of unity began to fray. Amidst this turmoil, Amina felt a quiet but powerful call within her heart, a call to act with compassion. She knew that the crisis was not simply about drought, it was about fear, division, and suffering. If the village was to survive, it needed healing of both the land and the spirit. One morning, Amina gathered a few neighbors, and together they began a simple but profound practice. They started with the children, those most vulnerable in the drought. Amina taught the villagers how to collect morning dew from leaves and how to conserve every drop of water. They shared stories of hope, reminding each other of times when the land had recovered before. With patience and kindness, Amina encouraged people to listen deeply to one another, to soften their anger, and to find common ground. Her compassion was not passive or sentimental. It was active and courageous. She went from house to house, offering water to the thirsty, food to the hungry, and most importantly, presence to the lonely and frightened. With gentle words and steady hands, she helped repair fences broken in the storms of tension. She helped carry wood for those too weak to do so themselves. Slowly, the villagers began to respond. The anger and blame gave way to shared concern. Neighbors began working together again, pooling resources and supporting one another. The village's energy shifted from survival in isolation to survival through connection. Amina's compassion created ripples, one by one. Others took up the practice of kindness, small acts that together formed a wave of healing. A young man who had once been quick to anger started teaching children how to collect rainwater. An elder, known for his silence, began sharing stories of resilience and faith. Women gathered to prepare nourishing meals from whatever the land still provided. Through these actions, the village began to transform. Though the drought continued for many weeks, the people found strength not only in shared resources, but in shared heart. The bonds of compassion became the water that nourished the community, even when the river ran low. Eventually, the rains returned, gentle at first, then pouring in abundance. The land revived, the crops greened, and the animals flourished once more. But the true revival was within the people themselves, a deeper sense of connection, understanding, and hope. This story of Amina and her village offers a profound teaching about compassion. It shows how compassion is not just a feeling, but a force for transformation. When we open our hearts and take action, even small ones, we can change not only the lives of others, but also our own. Compassion dissolves barriers. It moves us beyond judgment and fear into a space of shared humanity. It reminds us that in pain and struggle, we are not alone. It invites us to be the healing presence in the world, responding with kindness and courage. Reflect now on your own life. Where is compassion calling you to act? Perhaps there is someone in your life who needs your presence more than your advice. Perhaps there is a situation filled with tension where a small act of kindness could shift the energy. Or perhaps the call is inward, to be compassionate to your own struggles and fears. Compassionate action requires courage. It asks us to step beyond comfort and convenience, to meet the world with an open heart. It asks us to see pain and suffering not as burdens, but as invitations. Invitations to awaken our deepest humanity. Know that compassion begins with presence. Before grand gestures, before perfect words, it begins with simply being there, listening with the heart, holding space without judgment, letting others know they are seen, heard, and valued as you listen. Breathe in this truth. Feel the energy of compassion flowing through you, gentle, steady, and strong. Allow it to inspire you to take small steps toward healing in your life and in the lives of those around you. Remember, compassionate action need not be overwhelming. Like Amina's small acts, it is the consistent, mindful kindnesses day by day that create lasting change. Even the simplest smile, a moment of patience, or a shared silence can ripple outward. Feel gratitude for your capacity to love and heal. This capacity connects you to an ancient tradition of wisdom and practice. The Buddha taught that compassion is essential for liberation, for freedom from suffering, and the cultivation of true peace. Let this story be a reminder that no matter how difficult the circumstances, compassion can open a path forward. It can dissolve fear, soften hearts, and build bridges where walls once stood. It invites us all to be healers for ourselves, for others, and for the world. As this meditation draws to a close, gently bring your attention back to your breath. Feel the rise and fall. Steady and calm. Feel your compassionate heart beating strong and steady within you. When you are ready, slowly open your eyes. Carry with you the lessons of compassionate action. Remember that healing begins with a single step, a single moment of presence and kindness. Thank you for sharing this time of story and reflection. May your heart be filled with courage, compassion, and healing. As you settle comfortably, allow your mind to open gently to the wisdom that arises when we look deeply into the nature of our suffering. This teaching invites you to explore not just the surface of pain, but to understand the roots beneath where pain often takes hold, and how compassion offers a powerful path to healing and freedom. Understanding emotional pain is universal. Each of us has experienced heartache, fear, anger, grief, or confusion. These feelings can sometimes feel overwhelming, persistent, or even defining of who we are. But in Buddhist teachings, emotional pain is not seen as something fixed or permanent. Instead, it is understood as arising from certain conditions and habits of mind, specifically attachment, aversion, and ignorance. These three, often called the three poisons in Buddhism, seen as the roots of suffering. By understanding these roots, we gain insight into why emotional pain arises and how it can be transformed. Attachment, clinging to what we desire. Attachment is the tendency to cling tightly to people, things, ideas, or experiences that we desire. This clinging is natural. After all, we seek happiness and security. However, when our happiness depends on something outside ourselves, on something impermanent, attachment becomes a source of suffering. Imagine holding on to a fragile object too tightly. The more you grip, the more likely it is to break or slip away. Similarly, when we cling to relationships, outcomes, or identities, we set ourselves up for pain when change inevitably occurs. Attachment creates a narrowness in the heart, a fixation on having or being certain things just so. It often blinds us to the richness and flow of life as it is, leading to disappointment and fear when things don't go as we hope. Aversion, rejecting what we fear or dislike. The second root is aversion, the instinct to push away, reject, or resist what we find unpleasant, painful, or threatening. Aversion is often the flip side of attachment. When we cannot have what we want, we may resent what we don't want. This resistance can manifest as anger, fear, frustration, or avoidance. While it's natural to want to protect ourselves from harm, excessive aversion creates a wall between us and life's challenges. Imagine swimming against a strong current. It requires immense effort and drains your energy. Aversion, similarly, exhausts us as we struggle against reality instead of flowing with it. Aversion also narrows our perspective. It can lead to judgment and separation, making it difficult to empathize with ourselves and others. Ignorance, not seeing clearly. The third root, ignorance, refers not to lack of intelligence, but to a fundamental misunderstanding of reality. It is the inability to see things as they truly are: impermanent, interconnected, and empty of fixed, separate self. Ignorance causes us to see ourselves as isolated entities, separate from others and the world. It fuels attachment and aversion, because we mistakenly believe that I am separate and that external things must be controlled to protect the self. When we are caught in ignorance, we mistake temporary feelings and thoughts for lasting truth. We take experiences personally and identify with pain as who we are. How compassion addresses these roots. Compassion is the natural antidote to these three poisons. When we cultivate compassion, we open a space of understanding and kindness toward ourselves and others, even toward the parts of ourselves that are attached, fearful, or confused. Compassion sees the universality of suffering. It recognizes that attachment, aversion, and ignorance are shared human experiences, not personal failures or flaws. Through compassion, we begin to loosen the grip of these roots. Compassion and attachment. Compassion helps us notice attachment without judgment. Instead of beating ourselves up for clinging, compassion invites curiosity and gentleness. We see that attachment arises from a deep desire for happiness and safety. With compassion, we can learn to hold our desires more lightly, recognizing their impermanence and the harm that comes from clinging. We don't need to force ourselves to give up what we care about. Rather, compassion guides us toward a wiser, more open-hearted relationship with what we value, one that allows for change and loss without collapsing into suffering. Compassion and reversion thrives in isolation and resistance. Compassion invites connection. When we meet aversion with compassion, we soften the wall of rejection. Instead of pushing away difficult feelings or people, compassion encourages us to understand the pain or fear beneath the resistance. We learn that aversion is often a protective response to pain. Compassion allows us to acknowledge that pain without reinforcing the resistance. This softening helps reduce anger, judgment, and fear, replacing them with patience and acceptance. Compassion and ignorance dissolves in the light of compassionate awareness. When we cultivate compassion, we develop insight into the nature of self and reality. Compassion opens the heart to see interconnectedness and impermanence. This seeing helps us recognize that the self is not a fixed, separate entity, but part of an unfolding web of life. With compassion, we begin to free ourselves from the illusion of separation and the suffering that arises from it. Practical ways to cultivate compassion for emotional pains. Roots. Mindful awareness. Begin by simply noticing when attachment, aversion, or ignorance arise in your mind. Practice observing these tendencies with kindness, not harshness. Self-compassion practices. Use loving-kindness meditations to nurture patience and care toward yourself, especially in moments of pain or struggle. Reflect on impermanence. Remind yourself that feelings, thoughts, and situations are ever-changing. This can ease attachment and aversion by loosening the need for things to stay fixed. Engage with others' suffering. Extend compassion outward, recognizing that others also experience attachment, aversion, and ignorance. This deepens empathy and connection. Wisdom cultivation. Study Buddhist teachings and reflect on the nature of self and reality. wisdom, compliments, compassion, guiding us away from ignorance, bringing compassion into daily life. Compassion for emotional pain's roots is not just a theoretical idea. It is a living practice. When you notice yourself clinging to an outcome or resisting a difficult feeling, pause. Ask yourself gently, what am I holding on to? What am I pushing away? What misunderstanding might be fueling this? Then breathe compassion into these questions. Imagine your heart softening around the difficulty. Allow space for healing rather than reacting with more resistance. Transforming. Emotional pain need not be the end of the story. Through compassion, it can become a doorway or path toward deeper understanding, connection, and peace. Compassion transforms pain from a source of suffering into an opportunity for growth. It helps us discover resilience in vulnerability and strength in openness. As you reflect on this teaching, feel the warmth of compassion flowing into every part of your being. Know that this compassion is always available. It begins within and extends outward, touching all aspects of life. Thank you for sharing this time of teaching and reflection. May compassion be your guide on the path of healing and transformation. Close your eyes gently if that feels comfortable, and begin to bring your attention inward. Begin by taking a deep, slow breath in through your nose, feeling the air fill your lungs and expand your belly. Hold the breath for a moment, just long enough to feel fullness, sand. Then exhale slowly through your mouth or nose, releasing any tension or tightness. Take another deep, cleansing breath. Inhale calm and presence. Exhale stress and distraction. Let your breathing find its natural rhythm now, soft and steady. Each inhale a gentle invitation to be present. Each exhale a quiet release. As you settle into this peaceful rhythm, allow your awareness to scan your body from head to toe. Notice any areas of discomfort, tension, or heaviness without judgment. Simply observe these sensations as they arise. Imagine each breath flowing to those places, inviting them to soften and open. Feel yourself supported by the surface beneath you. Know that you are safe here in this moment, held by the stillness of your own presence. Now, gently bring your attention to your heart space, the center of your chest, where compassion naturally arises. Feel the gentle beating of your heart, a steady rhythm that connects you to life itself. Imagine a warm, glowing light in this space. This light represents your capacity for compassion, both for yourself and for all beings. With each breath, feel this light grow warmer and brighter, expanding softly outward. As this compassionate light grows, invite it to flow into the parts of yourself where emotional pain resides. Perhaps there is a heaviness in your chest, a tightness in your throat, or a sense of aching somewhere inside. Allow your compassionate awareness to rest gently on these places. Like a warm hand comforting a child, begin to explore the origins of this pain with kindness and curiosity, without forcing or pushing. Allow memories, feelings, or images to arise naturally. Those moments or experiences where emotional pain first took root. You might see a past event, hear a voice, or feel a sensation that speaks to this origin. Trust whatever emerges. You are safe to witness these parts with compassion as you hold this space. Silently repeat phrases of compassion toward yourself and your pain. You may say softly in your mind or aloud, "I see your pain. I am here for you. You are not alone. I care deeply for you. May you find peace and healing. May this pain be softened by kindness. Let these phrases flow with your breath, infusing your heart space and the roots of your pain with healing warmth. If difficult emotions or resistance arise, acknowledge them with gentle acceptance. Say to yourself, it is okay to feel this way. I allow these feelings to be present without fear. I meet my suffering with kindness. Remember that compassion does not mean erasing or avoiding pain. It means embracing it with love and understanding. Visualize the compassionate light in your heart, extending down to the very roots of your emotional pain. Imagine this light as a gentle stream flowing through tangled roots, loosening knots of fear, anger, or sadness. See the light cleansing, nourishing, and softening these roots, transforming them from hardened pain into fertile soil for healing. Feel the warmth and softness spreading deeper within you. Sense how this compassionate energy flows through your mind, your body, and your spirit. Allow yourself to be bathed in this healing light, knowing it is your natural resource available to you as you continue breathing gently. Bring awareness to your thoughts. Notice any stories or judgments you tell yourself about your pain. See these stories as passing clouds in the sky of your mind with compassion. Allow these clouds to drift away, making space for clarity and calm. Now, shift your attention to your breath once again. Feel how each inhale brings fresh energy and healing. Each exhale releases old patterns of suffering and resistance. Imagine breathing in compassion itself, like a soothing balm for your heart. Inhale compassion, filling your whole being. Exhale pain and tension flowing out, dissolving into the air. Repeat this flow several times, deeply connecting with the cycle of release and renewal. If you notice your mind wandering or resisting, kindly bring it back to this compassionate breath. Remember, there is no right or wrong way to do this practice. Each moment you return with kindness, you strengthen your capacity for healing. Let your heart's light now extend beyond yourself. Imagine it reaching to those you love, friends, neighbors, or even people you find difficult. Send this compassionate energy outward as a gift. May they also experience relief from their suffering. May their hearts be softened by kindness and understanding. Feel your connection to all beings who experience pain. Know that your compassion joins a vast web of healing energy flowing through the world. You are part of this great movement of love. Return now to your own body, gently sensing the changes that have occurred. Notice if the pain feels lighter or if the space around it has expanded. No matter what, honor the effort you have made to meet yourself with compassion today. Before concluding this meditation, bring your attention once more to the breath. Feel its steady rhythm, anchoring you in the present moment. Know that the compassion you have cultivated here can be carried with you throughout your day. When you are ready, gently wiggle your fingers and toes. Slowly open your eyes if they have been closed. Take a moment to notice how you feel. Thank yourself for this practice of healing and compassion as you move forward. Remember that compassion is not a destination, but a continual journey. Each time you return to your pain with kindness, you plant seeds of healing. You nurture resilience, peace, and freedom. Allow your limbs to soften, your muscles to release any lingering tension. Let your eyes close softly or gaze downward with a gentle focus. If that feels better, take a long, slow breath in through your nose, filling your lungs completely. Feel the air expanding your chest and belly, the life force nourishing every cell. Hold this breath for a moment, savoring the fullness. Now exhale fully, releasing any remaining stress or tightness. Feel your body sink deeper into comfort with each out-breath. Breathe. Again inhale calm, peace, and presence. Exhale tension, worry, or fatigue. Let your breathing find its own natural, soothing rhythm. Begin to bring your awareness inward, gently, gathering all that you have experienced today in your practice of compassion and healing. Recall the moments you opened your heart to kindness both for yourself and for others. Reflect on the gentle awareness you cultivated toward your own emotional pain, meeting it not with judgment or resistance, but with loving care. Remember the breath practices that anchored you in the present moment, offering safe space to rest, even amidst difficulty. Let these memories wash over you like soft waves, reminding you of your innate capacity to heal as you reflect. Invite a sense of gratitude to arise for yourself, for your courage to show up, to feel, and to extend compassion. Acknowledge the effort it takes to turn toward pain and suffering with gentleness. This is no small thing. It is the essence of healing and transformation. Thank your body for supporting you through this journey, your mind for its willingness to practice presence, and your heart for its openness. Now, imagine all these moments of learning and healing as seeds planted within your being. See them nestled in rich, fertile soil. Your body, your heart, your spirit know that these seeds will continue to grow and blossom, bringing forth resilience, peace, and deeper compassion in your life. May take time to unfold, but they are already working quietly, profoundly within you. Bring your attention now to your body, starting from the top of your head and slowly moving down to your toes. Notice any areas that feel soft and relaxed. Appreciate the sensation of ease wherever it appears. If you notice any remaining tension or discomfort, do not judge it. Instead, direct your compassionate breath, there softening, warming, and gently releasing. Imagine the healing light of compassion flowing like a gentle river through these areas, dissolving stiffness and bringing soothing calm. Feel the rhythm of your heart beating steadily beneath your chest. With every beat, sense the steady pulse of life within you, a sacred rhythm connecting you to the vast web of existence. Allow this rhythm to calm your mind further, drawing you into a deep stillness. You are held by this steady presence, safe and cared for. Now bring to mind the people and beings you care for, friends, family, community, and even those you find challenging. Imagine sending a warm, glowing light of compassion from your heart to each one. Visualize this light as a soft embrace, a gentle healing balm that touches their hearts and soothes their suffering. Recognize the shared nature of our human experience, joys, sorrows, hopes, and fears, and know that your compassionate energy contributes to the healing of the whole. Feel this compassionate energy returning to you, completing a beautiful circle of giving and receiving. Let it settle in your own heart, creating a sanctuary of peace and kindness that you can visit anytime you need. This sanctuary is always available, a refuge you carry within as your body grows heavier and your mind more serene. Allow yourself to sink into a state of restful integration. Release the effort to control or analyze. There is nothing you need to do now except rest in this gentle presence. Let your breath be soft and natural. Let your thoughts drift like clouds, coming and going without resistance. If you feel sleepy, know it is okay to allow yourself to drift into a restful sleep. This meditation can gently lead you into deep restorative rest, nourishing your body and mind. If you remain awake, rest in this calm presence as long as you wish, knowing you have cultivated a deep well of compassion and healing within. Now, repeat softly in your mind or out loud if you wish these affirmations. To seal this meditation with loving intention, may I be safe. May I be peaceful. May I be free from suffering. May I live with ease and compassion. Extend these wishes to yourself fully, allowing them to sink deeply into your being. Take a few more breaths here, savoring the calm, the compassion, and the healing you have cultivated today. Feel gratitude for this moment of care. You have given yourself. Know that you can return to this place of restful integration anytime you need. When you are ready, gently bring your awareness back to the room. Notice the sounds around you, the sensation of your body supported. Wiggle your fingers and toes slowly. If your eyes are closed, open them softly. Take one final deep breath in and exhale fully. Thank you for sharing this space of compassionate healing and rest. May the calm and kindness you have nurtured continue to grow and shine in your life, carrying you gently forward.